This is the task analysis and video modeling, how to borrow and return an item during class. So my task list, first choose a classmate next to you. Turn your body and face towards your classmate. State their name in a quiet voice. Say, hi, I forgot my, and then the name of object. In this case, we have a pen. Say, do you have an extra pen I can borrow, please? Wait for their response. If they say yes and give you the object, say, thank you, I will return this at the end of class. If they say no, say, that's okay. If they say no, choose a different classmate next to you to ask. If your classmate does have the object or the pen for you to borrow, take the object from their hand, in this case it's a pen, turn your body and face back to your desk. Work quietly. Before packing up to leave, turn your body and face toward your classmate. State their name in a quiet voice. Wait for your classmate to respond. Say, thank you for letting me borrow this pen. Take the borrowed object in your hand. Wait for the classmate to reach their hand out. Return the object to their hand. So that is my task list for borrowing an object from a classmate during class. And here's a video example. How to borrow and return an item from a classmate during class. Choose a classmate next to you. Turn your body and face towards your classmate. State their name in a quiet voice.
Jason.
Say, hi, I forgot my pen.
Hi, I forgot my pen.
Say, do you have an extra pen I can borrow, please?
Do you have an extra pen I can borrow, please?
Wait for their response. If they say yes,
Yes.
and give you the object, say, thank you. I will return this object at the end of class.
Thank you. I will return your pen at the end of class.
Take the object from their hand, turn your body, and face back to your desk. Work quietly. Before packing up to leave, turn your body and face towards your classmate. State their name in a quiet voice.
Jason.
Wait for your classmate to respond.
Yes.
Say, thank you for letting me borrow your pen.
Thank you for letting me borrow your pen.
Take the borrowed object in your hand. Wait for the classmate to reach their hand out and return the object to their hand. If your classmate doesn't have a pen, here's what to do. So, choose a different classmate next to you. Turn your body and face towards your classmate. State their name in a quiet voice. Say, hi, I forgot my pen.
Tim. Hi, I forgot my pen.
Say, do you have an extra pen I can borrow, please?
Do you have an extra pen I can borrow, please?
No, sorry.
Wait for their response. If they say no, say, that's okay.
That's okay.
If they say no, choose a different classmate to ask. Turn your body and face towards your classmate. State their name in a quiet voice. Say, hi, I forgot my.
Jason. Hi, I forgot my pen.
Say, do you have an extra pen I can borrow, please?
Do you have an extra pen I can borrow, please?
Wait for their response.
Yes, I do.
If they say yes and give you the object, say, thank you, I will return this at the end of class.
Thank you. I will return this at the end of class.
Take the object from their hand, turn your body, and face back to your desk. Work quietly. Before packing up to leave, turn your body and face towards your classmate. State their name in a quiet voice.
Jason.
Wait for your classmate to respond.
Yes.
Say, thank you for letting me borrow your pen.
Thank you for letting me borrow your pen.
Take the borrowed object in your hand. Wait for the classmate to reach their hand out. Return the object to their hand.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was my video demonstration of the video modeling of my task list. How to borrow and return an Sorry about item. that. Okay, so what went well for my task list? I felt for the most part each step was in sequence. I do realize the yes, no was a little bit tricky. I'll get into that a little bit. Dialogue in my task list is included. Social cues such as turning, facing, and a quiet voice are included. And then the very specific steps of waiting for that pen to reach out and take it from your classmate, I included that. So in my task list, I wrote that up. So those very, very specific steps in receiving the pen, taking the pen, and what to do with that. So that's what I think went well in my task list. My video modeling, I feel like that this would work well for video prompting. I kind of set up my video that way to do the video prompting as best as I could with my actors. Also, I feel like with my video modeling, students can practice when a student says yes or no. I tried to include that as best as I could in the video modeling. My task list, I feel like that was a little bit difficult to write, to have those options. I think if I go back, I'd redo that, but I'll get in that in a second. One thing that was good in my video modeling is that body language is shown, the facing and turning to your classmate, and then the steps are shown in order, and then they have those options of saying yes or saying no, and then I kind of went back. Okay, what to improve? My task list. I think one thing that I could include is how to stay calm if you forget an item. I didn't really think about that at first. Just that idea of having that disruption for somebody with ASD, like, oh, I don't have my pen, I don't have my charge cord, something like that, to just kind of throw off that routine. I think that that might be something to include. Again, it depends on the student that I would be working with. So I think knowing that student and their triggers might be helpful with that. I really feel like this was the part that I struggled with, the making a visual. I really feel like this task list, if you hand this to a student, it sometimes might feel a little bit overwhelming. And I feel like on my task list, the options of yes, no, like if I just had a yes, no chart in there, would really improve this task list. Again, I just wrote the steps in order, had to revisit it a few times. I'm not as happy with this task list as I was with the one on the discussion board. I think it's because of that option, right? Because you don't really know what's going to happen in a conversation. So I feel like that would have been much more beneficial in my task list, just adding that yes, no option and what to do. Again, with my task list, I feel like adding visuals would be extremely helpful. I feel like most task lists, to be honest, probably need visuals. I think that would be beneficial. Again, it probably depends on the student as well. And then the other thing that I think I might want to include too, in looking at this task list that I wrote, when to return the item. So I know like that transition time right before the bell rings, if a student has that extra time to pack up and leave, and then returning that item and knowing when to do that would be important to include. For my video modeling, what to improve? I'm certainly not a video influencer or anything like that. I feel like I have a lot to learn in creating videos such as this. Obviously, I wanted to have 3 or more actors, but I didn't have access to a third person or a third student. Having a classroom setting would be great. I used what I had to complete this. So a classroom setting would be great to use this. And again, I do feel like how to stay calm if you forget an item in class. Again, that interruption in that routine, I think would be really beneficial to have. And then if possible, have the student be in the video. With my video modeling too, I feel like it went okay, but again, I've got a lot to learn. I've got a lot to make this better and a lot to improve. And it was a challenge. I did find this to be a challenge, and writing the task list as well. I felt like it was a challenge because of all of those little steps. And even with my actors in the video, they naturally hand each other the pen without even thinking about it. So those social cues of like waiting and just breaking everything down and making sure that that's reflected in the video too. That's kind of difficult. So directing that video, I think I could have done a little bit better job of reminding them to say, okay, don't hand the pen, make sure you're waiting. But other than that, I think with what I had, I think it went okay. Task lists, how they can be used. I really feel that task lists, especially when just written and then maybe some visuals added in, I really feel like they're most appropriate for concrete tasks. And so what I mean by that are things that are kind of step by step. So for example, transition periods between classes, procedures in the classroom, how to pack up your bag, how to wash your hands, how to line up in the hallway, things like that. I really feel like that task list is good, or something that's procedural, right? So if you're, teaching a student how to make a recipe, I think that's important. Maybe how to turn in assignments, different things like that. I think something that's really concrete, something that doesn't really have as much emotional social interaction, I think that's where task lists could really be used and really be positive. So I think where a student isn't necessarily waiting for like some sort of social interaction, I think a task list is good. And I really think adding visuals to a task list is important too, because I think when you look at just a list of words, sometimes you might be a little bit overwhelmed. And I think those visuals are always important for a student who is on the spectrum. Video modeling, how it can be used. I feel like there is just infinite possibilities for video modeling. I think it's a great tool in helping students with ASD, especially that facial emotional recognition of being aware of how to turn, how to talk, how to make eye contact. Really practicing that, I think, goes a long way. So I do think with video modeling, you can still use concrete tasks. I still think that it would be effective in showing concrete tasks, as I mentioned before with the task list. I just feel like video modeling is really effective because students can do it, watch it, practice, rewind, practice again. So because of that, it's really good for social interactions with peers and teachers. I feel that with video modeling, you can really show a student different facial expressions, how to interact, when somebody says something, how to react to that. I just think that there's really good possibilities with video modeling. So as I mentioned, those tasks with options and responses, I kind of struggled with this when I was writing my task list and actually doing the video. What happens if that student doesn't have a pen, or what happens if that student, makes a mean comment? Middle schoolers can be very mean to each other. So what happens, what to do in that situation? I think, that's an option that needs to be explored as well. So something that has an option or a response interaction socially with another student or a teacher, I think video modeling would be quite effective. So that is my presentation on task list and video modeling. I really enjoyed this project because it really made me realize how very subtle little cues need to be written into these task lists and the video modeling. So I hope you enjoyed my presentation.